Welcome to Stuck, Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with BusinessRiff, and I want startups to be wildly successful. Something that really aids in success is your corporate culture. And today we have Lenore Kantor from Growth Warrior, and we're going to be talking about that. Thanks for coming, Lenore.
Oh, it's great to see you, Mary. Thanks for inviting me.
So, how important is building a good, effective corporate culture?
I think it's essential, particularly nowadays when so many people are looking to find work environments that align with their values, and a culture is, sort of the litmus test that helps people to determine if this is a place they want to work in or not.
Okay, so what sorts of things should a founder think about when putting a culture together?
Well, I think sometimes founders underestimate that they are their brand in so many ways, right? So their personality is often reflected in so many aspects of the company, and the culture is one of those areas. So, to the extent that a founder is aware of what is the operating style that they want to inculcate within the organization, and they can make that explicit through the brand values, through the decision-making process, through how they communicate. Those are three specific ways, but being transparent around what sort of employees are going to excel, what their expectations are, how people work together. Is it a collaborative culture or is it more command and control? Understanding those different dynamics and making those explicit to potential employees can help create alignment so that they attract the right people, and the people that they attract, they're able to retain because it's a good fit.
Okay. And sometimes you kind of need both styles, depending on what area in the company you're dealing with. One style may work a little better than the other. So,
Yes, that makes perfect sense. And I also think sometimes, depending on the size of the business and their stage of growth, different cultures make sense. So early in a startup's stage, they're just getting things going. And so it's not uncommon for many employees to wear multiple hats. But as an organization scales and it has more structure, it needs to have more clearly defined roles, which can change the expectations of the employees as well as the type of talent that the organization is looking to bring in. So you want to have a culture that is reflective of where the organization is at so it can be most successful.
and how much of these policies, procedures, vision should be written down and where?
That's such a great question. When you are communicating with people, it can be helpful to have written documents around the brand values, around the mission, around the expectations, just like you would in job descriptions. But when it comes to the culture, it's a little bit more intangible. So I would say it's not always something that's easily captured in a written document, but I think it's something that gets communicated by the founder to the employees. So I think these are things that can be communicated verbally in the expectations around what the job role is, the working hours, the communication and decision making style. These are examples of what can be articulated, but maybe harder to write down on a written document.
Okay. Can culture affect the bottom line?
I think so, absolutely. I've seen very successful startups that have fewer employees that really know what they're doing who can accomplish more. So, if you really have a culture of innovation, performance, and alignment, there's an opportunity to make a much bigger impact, to deliver products faster, to save money because you can have fewer people accomplishing more. I do think that companies with good, welcoming corporate cultures that employees want to work at, they care more about the organization and its values than they do about compensation. So I think, not everybody, but in some cases, I think a really great corporate culture is sort of an asset that is not always recognized, but can make a huge difference because it reduces turnover and helps you to attract the best talent.
Okay. And learning how to delegate and learning how to really trust other people to do what they do best is an acquired skill, right?
Absolutely.
So, do you have any other tips for startups on how to create their culture or how to maintain it?
Yeah, I think that for founders in particular, they want to be really clear about what their values are and what they're looking for in terms of their operating style. So I find that when the founders have done their own personal work and know what they expect and they have that self-awareness, it can help them to communicate effectively with others. So there's sort of doing that work helps you to be a better leader to others. And then creating an environment that is aligned around the goals of the organization so that everybody understands what that is can really help to create a culture, a mission, brand values that all are in sync with each other.
Well, this is excellent advice, and thank you so much for coming, Lenore. We'll put links in the comments so that people can find out more information about good culture when you're starting a business.
Thanks so much, Mary. It was a pleasure to meet with you.
And I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff. I want startups to be wildly successful. And one of the best things you can do to accomplish that is book a call with me at businessriff.com and let's see how we can collaborate. And join us again next time for Stuck, Time to Improv.